The ballroom lights dimmed to a honeyed gold, and every guest turned toward the dance floor as the orchestra swelled. A little girl in a lavender dress tugged her father's sleeve. "Daddy, why's everyone staring?" she whispered. The single dad, still in the rumpled suit he'd worn to 3 job interviews that week, felt heat crawl up his neck. He was only here because his cousin had begged him to bring his daughter, Mia, as the flower girl. He didn't belong among crystal chandeliers and designer gowns. Then the CEO of the bride's company, tall, poised, her dark hair pinned like a crown, stepped forward, extended one manicured hand, and said, "Dance with me. If you're already leaning in, hit that like button so this story finds more hearts, and subscribe with notifications on. The twist at the end will leave you speechless." Jake Harlan had never planned on being a single dad at 32. 4 years earlier, his wife, Sarah, had kissed Mia's forehead, promised to be home after her night shift, and never came back. A drunk driver on the interstate. The funeral was a blur of casseroles and pitying glances. Jake quit his graphic design job, moved into a 1-bedroom apartment above a laundromat, and learned to braid hair with YouTube tutorials. He told Mia her mom was a star now, shining so bright she couldn't come home. Every night he checked the locks twice, terrified the universe might steal his daughter too. Money hemorrhaged. Daycare ate half his freelance checks. The laundromat's dryers clanked like judgmental tongues. Mia's asthma inhalers cost more than rent. Jake pawned Sarah's engagement ring for grocery money and hated himself for it. He stopped answering his mother's calls, her worry sounded like blame. At parent-teacher night he sat alone while couples compared private school brochures. He smiled until his cheeks ached, then drove home blasting the radio so Mia wouldn't hear him cry. The wedding invitation arrived like a joke. Jake's cousin, Lily, was marrying into tech money. The venue, a cliffside resort in Big Sur. Dress code, black tie. Jake owned one suit, charcoal, bought for Sarah's cousin's funeral. He ironed it anyway, borrowed a tie from his neighbor, and told Mia they were going on an adventure. She squealed at the ocean view from the shuttle window, clutching her flower basket like treasure. At the resort, Jake felt invisible in the best way. He hovered near the dessert table, counting minutes until he could escape. Mia twirled among the other kids, petals scattering. During the ceremony he stood at the back, arms crossed, eyes on his shoes. When the couple kissed, he swallowed a lump the size of regret. Cocktail hour. Jake nursed a ginger ale, calculating Uber fares. A server offered shrimp, he took 3, wrapped them in a napkin for Mia's lunch tomorrow. That's when he noticed her, Elena Voss, CEO of Voss Analytics, the company bankrolling half the wedding. She wore emerald silk that caught the sunset, laughing with investors. Jake recognized her from Forbes, she'd built an empire from a garage algorithm at 19. He looked away, embarrassed by the grease stain on his cuff. Mia ran up, cheeks pink. "Daddy, I dropped petals on a man's shoe and he said a bad word." Jake crouched, brushing dirt from her hem. "We'll apologize later, okay?" That's when Elena appeared, holding 2 flutes of champagne. She offered one to Jake. "For the hero who raised a flower girl brave enough to conquer Italian leather," she said. Her voice was low, amused. Jake declined the drink, he couldn't risk the babysitting fee if he smelled like alcohol, but thanked her. Mia stared up, awestruck. "You're shiny," she told Elena. Elena knelt. "So are you, petal princess." The reception unfolded like a movie Jake wasn't cast in. He sat at table 19, near the kitchen doors, feeding Mia bites of chicken he'd smuggled from the buffet. The speeches began. The groom's father joked about trust funds. Laughter rippled. Jake's smile felt stapled on. Then the DJ announced the father-daughter dance. Panic. He hadn't prepared. Mia dragged him forward anyway. They swayed off-beat while cousins filmed on phones. Jake counted steps to keep from bolting. That's when the orchestra shifted to a slow waltz. Guests paired off. Jake steered Mia back to safety, until Elena intercepted. She'd kicked off her heels, barefoot on the marble. "May I cut in?" she asked Mia, who nodded vigorously. Elena took Jake's hand. Her palm was warm, calloused from rock climbing, he'd later learn. "Breathe," she whispered. "Follow the music, not the fear." They moved. Jake's stiff shoulders loosened. Elena smelled like cedar and possibility. Around them, phones rose like periscopes. He caught his reflection in a window, disheveled, terrified, alive. The song ended, applause thundered. Mia clapped loudest. Elena didn't let go. "Stay for the next one," she said. It wasn't a request. "If your heart's racing, smash that like button and let's keep this magic rolling." Later, on the terrace overlooking the Pacific, Jake found courage in the dark. "I'm not supposed to be here," he admitted. "I'm the +1 nobody remembers inviting." Elena leaned against the railing. "I remember," she said. "I saw you catch Mia when she tripped on her hem. I saw you count pennies in your head at the bar. I saw a man who hasn't quit." She told him her own story, foster homes, coding at midnight in public libraries, investors who laughed until her software saved their companies. "I learned early," she said, "that the people who show up anyway are the ones who change the world." Jake laughed, bitter. "I'm barely changing diapers." Elena's eyes softened. "You're raising a girl who believes in adventures. That's a revolution." Inside, the cake cutting began. Mia yawned against Jake's leg. He lifted her, ready to leave, when the bride rushed over. "Elena wants you at the head table for photos." Jake blinked. There's been a mistake. But Elena was already there, saving 2 seats. Flashbulbs popped. Mia, sugar-wired, grinned between them. Someone shouted, "Kiss the CEO." Jake froze. Elena rolled her eyes, then pecked Mia's forehead. The crowd roared approval. Jake's heart performed cartwheels. Midnight. The resort offered guest rooms to out-of-towners. Jake's cousin pressed a key into his hand. Elena's orders. He tucked Mia into a bed bigger than their apartment, her snores instant. He meant to crash on the couch, but a knock came. Elena, holding 2 mugs of decaf. Couldn't sleep either. They sat on the balcony, waves crashing below. She asked about Sarah. Jake spoke until his voice cracked. Elena listened without platitudes. When he finished, she said, "Grief is love with nowhere to go. You're giving it a home in Mia. That's holy. If tears are prickling, subscribe now, we're only halfway through the miracle." Weeks later, Big Sur felt like a dream Jake had stolen. Back in the laundromat apartment, nothing changed, except everything. Elena texted daily. First about Mia's asthma, then recipes, then memes at 2 a.m. She sent a care package, an inhaler copay voucher disguised as a bookstore gift card. Jake's pride bristled, but Mia's breathing eased. He took the win. Elena invited them to San Francisco for a playdate. Jake expected a sterile penthouse. Instead, her home was chaos, rescue dogs, half-built robots, a kitchen where Mia finger-painted on butcher paper. Elena cooked pasta with one hand, negotiated a merger on speaker with the other. Jake watched her toggle worlds and felt less like a failure. Challenge came swift. Jake's biggest freelance client ghosted, citing budget cuts. Rent loomed. He applied to burger joints, hating the grease smell that would cling to Mia's hair. Elena offered a job, junior designer at Voss Analytics. The salary made him dizzy. He declined. "I don't take charity." Elena didn't flinch. "It's not charity if you earn it. Interview like anyone else." He did. The panel grilled him for 2 hours. He left sweating, certain he'd bombed. That night Mia spiked a fever. Urgent care, insurance lapsed. Jake sat in the plastic chair, her small hand in his, calculating which credit card still had room. His phone buzzed. "Elena, I'm outside." She paid the bill before he could protest, then drove them home through rain. In the apartment, she tucked Mia in, sang a Spanish lullaby she claimed to have learned from her abuela. Jake watched from the doorway, throat tight. "Why are you doing this?" he asked. Elena met his eyes. "Because someone did it for me once. And because you're worth it." The job offer came Monday. Jake accepted, terrified. First day, he wore the charcoal suit, now dry cleaned. Colleagues whispered about the CEO's pet project. Projects landed on his desk with impossible deadlines. He stayed until security kicked him out, learning code he'd never touched. Mia attended the company daycare, enchanted by vending machines that dispensed apple slices. Jake's hands shook less. He bought groceries without counting. He hung Sarah's photo in the new apartment Elena helped him find, 2 bedrooms, ocean breeze through the window. But doubt stalked him. At a company gala, an executive cornered him. "Enjoy the ride while it lasts. She'll tire of the charity case." Jake drank too much champagne, excused himself to the balcony. Elena found him there. "I heard," she said quietly. "Fire him tomorrow?" Jake shook his head. "I need to earn this." She nodded. "Then let's make them eat their words." They did. Jake's redesign of the client dashboard shaved load times by 40%. Investors noticed. The executive apologized publicly. Jake didn't gloat, he mentored the next nervous hire. Mia started kindergarten reading at a 2nd grade level, her teacher citing rich dinner table conversations. Jake blushed, those were Elena's debates about ethics in AI. If you're rooting for them, like this video to spread the hope. Winter arrived. Elena's birthday. She claimed she hated fuss, so Jake planned small, homemade cupcakes, Mia's glitter art. But when they arrived at Elena's house, the lights were off. Odd. Inside, darkness, then a burst of light. Surprise. The entire company, plus Jake's mom, his cousin, even the laundromat neighbor. Balloons spelling Dad of the Year. Mia presented a crown made of pipe cleaners. Jake cried in front of 50 people and didn't care. Later, on the roof, city lights flickering, Elena took his hand. "I have a confession," she said. "That night at the wedding, I wasn't being kind. I was selfish. I saw you with Mia and thought, that's the kind of man who stays. I wanted to know you." "Jake." Jake's voice cracked. "I'm still scared every day." Elena stepped closer. "Good. Fear means you love hard. I'm in love with you, Jake Harlan. With your terrible dance moves and your 3 a.m. panic texts and the way you make Mia laugh until she hiccups. I want the messy mornings and the hospital waits and the life you're building." He kissed her then, tasting salt and champagne and future. Mia's voice floated up the stairs, "Are you done yet?" "The cake's melting." They laughed into each other's shoulders. Spring. A new wedding, this one theirs. Small, on the same Big Sur cliff. Mia walked the aisle scattering petals and grins. Jake wore a new suit, charcoal again, because some things are classic. Elena's dress was simple, her smile radiant. When the officiant asked for vows, Jake spoke first. "I thought love meant protecting Mia from more loss. You taught me love is inviting someone in to share the weight. You didn't save us, Elena. You believed we were already whole. I'll spend my life proving you right." Elena's turn. I built algorithms to predict everything except this, a single dad in a borrowed tie rewriting my future. You and Mia are my greatest risk and my surest return. I choose you, every day, in overtime and asthma attacks and glitter explosions. They kissed. Mia yelled, finally. Guests erupted. The orchestra played the same waltz from that first night. Jake took Elena's hand, then Mia's. The three of them danced, a clumsy, perfect triangle. Phones rose again, but this time Jake didn't notice. He was home. Years later, viewers would find the video, a grainy clip from the original wedding, Elena leading Jake to the floor, Mia twirling nearby. Comments poured in. My dad raised me alone. This healed something. I just subscribed to my own courage. Proposed to my girlfriend after this. She said yes. The channel, Jake's, launched with Elena's encouragement, grew. He shared budgeting hacks, grief tools, bedtime stories that made CEOs cry. Mia, now 10, co-hosted segments on kindness algorithms. Elena funded scholarships for single parents in tech. Their family photo hung in the Voss Analytics lobby, 3 faces, 1 heartbeat. The last frame of the video faded to text, love isn't a fairy tale. It's showing up anyway. If this story moved you, like, subscribe, and go hug someone who's trying. The dance floor is always waiting. Fade to black. The orchestra's final note lingered, a promise that some moments, against all odds, become forever.